Good to see you. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you guys. It's Monday morning. How was your weekend? I would love to know. If you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. I always like to know where people are coming in from. And what did you do this weekend? I would love to know. So here we are. We're what? Are we 10 days away from Thanksgiving? I think we're 10 days away from Thanksgiving in the United States. So that's crazy. How fast is time going? We don't even have snow on the ground in Minnesota. I was talking to somebody we were in French Lick, Indiana this weekend. And I was talking to somebody, a lot of Southern accents down there, of course. And they're like, wow, yeah, I can hear that. I know, I was like, Minnesota. It's just the way that is. Let's see. Housekeeping for today is tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. We had such an amazing weekend. We had such a good weekend. It was kind of like we turned around pretty fast on this, but I'll tell you, we packed so much goodness in. We did a Polar Express where like people apparently like French Lick, Indiana is a destination. Like you go there for these resorts and then you go to ride the Polar Express and see the tree lighting ceremony and do all of these things. And I mean, it's decked out with all of the Christmas stuff. And I'm like, I am going home and putting up my tree right now. Like I'm not going to wait because everything was so beautiful. And every time I turned around, there was another Christmas tree. And I was like, okay, I'm all in. I'm going home. I'm putting up my tree. I'm going to listen to Christmas music. I'm just doing it all because it was so joyful. It was so fun. And anyway, we just had such a good time. And of course we were with our business team. So that makes it just really special. You know, it's kind of like I was saying last week, you work hard, you play hard. So it was so great just to hang out and just chat with friends, slow down. Don't we want to slow down and just enjoy our friendships? It was amazing. So, oh my gosh, everybody's in the house. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Magda. Good morning, Kimberly. You guys are all here. That's so fun. Come on in, join in now tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I always put this up here for you guys on TikTok so that you can see where my site is. Because if you click on there and you just do one little scroll, you'll see a Facebook blue button. And you can get into the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Listen, I go live here every day, Monday through Friday, unless I'm traveling, at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's all. Like, we're just hanging out. And, of course, nobody's going to charge you to hang out online, right? So it's free content. But when you get into the group, you also get tagged in a free recipe pantry PDF. Jump in there. But tonight we're doing the last installment of in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. We're doing the last installment of the book, Self-Sabotage No More. And did you know, are you guys remembering? Did you put it in your calendar? Like, pull your phone out right now if you haven't done this. Next Monday, the 25th, Jenny Potter, the author, is going to be in the group, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And she's going to do like a session with us. And I'm telling you, it is such a gift to have somebody come in and do that. So Self-Sabotage No More. She has a new book called Stuck No More. I am going to be giving those out I'll give you the details. Good morning. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Penny. Good morning. Good to see you. She's sending me this big heart over my head on TikTok. You're just so sweet. I love you. When you, I'm going to give away books. She gave me a stack of books. I'm going to give away books. I'll give you details later on. Those will be connected to orders in December, etc. And like at the beginning of the month while supplies last. I'm just really excited that she has blessed you guys. Like, I'm just really excited to do that. So anyway, good morning. Good to see you. Let's see if I can say your name. Hold on, because I want to say it right. Is it Jacindy? Jacindy? I love that. That's a beautiful name. Tell me if I said it right or if I said it wrong. Okay. So today, you guys, what I wanted to do is I wanted to jump into, I just know, like, having been at the resort this weekend, having been around Christmas this weekend, having been around a lot of food this weekend, having been around a lot of conversation this weekend, I am just telling you that it is quite amazing as we go into the holiday season, how that food noise, who was it that said that last week? You said the food noise was so strong that you're already feeling it. I think that was Carla. And it's just a thing, right? But I could feel the busyness on the weekend. And so even for myself now, I was good to see you too. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. I was prepared, right? So I spent a few years getting my life together. It's the best way I can say it. I waited until my early 50s. So that should give everybody hope. Raised by a type 2 Italian dad, insulin dependent, all of the bad health problems, dies at 63. I am only 30, but I do nothing until I'm in my upper 40s. And so then in my early 50s, as I decide to go on my own journey, I take a few years to really assess my life. Thank you for sharing, Penny. You're amazing. I go and I assess my life, and it takes me a hot minute, okay? Because I was a little bit of a hot mess express. I might have been the original. Carla, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. So I was a hot mess express because insulin is a hormone. And when that goes upside down and you mess oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Kristen, good to see you. Everybody's here, you guys. What a great Monday morning. Mondays don't suck in my world. I don't know. Does Monday suck in everybody else? No, Mondays don't suck. We all come together and we have fun. Let's change the narrative of Mondays. And so, when I was going through my whole assessment of the holidays, etc., it took me a while to trade out my ingredients. It took me a while to get more prepared. It took me a while to be able to travel without such fallout. Like I used to get on a bus and drive that distance we had never been to French Lick before, but we went to French Lick and it's, like 12 hours away or whatever. And I used to get on a bus with the business team and I would eat all the bad food. Everything was bad. It was terrible. And my ankles would be swollen like this by the time I got there. And I'd go lay down on the bed in the hotel room. And we travel with family. So I know my sons were like rolling their eyes at me, like, what are you doing? And I'd put my legs up against the wall like this as I was laying back on the bed, trying just please, Lord, please, could we get rid of some of the swelling in my ankles before the weekend starts? Because this feels miserable in my shoes. And I hated it. I hated that feeling. So it took me a while, but now I am able to have a little bit of preparation. Last week in the group, remember we made the Chex Mix? I brought the savory, I brought the sweet. I didn't eat all of it, but it helped me. I was more prepared than usual, but that wasn't my MO for a long time. So I ate, I wouldn't say that I love everything that I eat when I'm out away, because I can't choose all of the time what I'm eating, but it still works. It's fine. I come home, I don't have swollen ankles. All of the things are good. But I know that when you're not prepared like that, when you haven't done the internal work sometimes to ask yourself, what is it that you actually do love to eat? When you haven't maybe gone to the store and tried a new ingredient, gone to the store and tried a new recipe, when it feels like it's just a lot of noise, when it feels like it's a little heavy, that makes the Christmas season a little different. So I do want to say, so many of you are on here. We've already been connected. We've already been making, no, I am not doing that, Lisa. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it at all. So no. What I teach targeted supplementation that I started a little over 10 years ago. And we can get into that, but I want to give you some good value first here. Excuse me. I should have drank a lot more water because when you're traveling, you're so dehydrated. So I apologize for that. And so when I started with targeted supplementation, I kind of crossed my fingers. And I'm going to tell you exactly why with very simple anecdotes. What does it mean to be insulin resistant? What does that mean? So a lot of you have already been on your journey. A lot of you have already given me your testimonies. We're just our testimony coffers are filling up. It's really, really fun, right? And by the way, Terry, I know she sent me a before and after picture and she gave me her testimony. If you give me your testimony, and you do not have to give me pictures, but if you do, I would really appreciate it. Because Terry's testimony is phenomenal. And she just gave it to me last week. She's been on the trio and she changed her way of eating, no grains or sugar for the last 8 months. And with the trio, she's lost 40 pounds. 40 pounds. But my point is that if so many of you have testimonies, if you'll write it out for me in a blurb, even if I've had pieces of it before, I will put your name in a hat. So you can just text me and go testimony and then give me your testimony. Give me pictures if you can. I'd be so grateful because this is the deal. And I'm going to put your name in the hat and I'm going to have a drawing. By the end of the year, I'm going to draw all of the testimonies and I'm going to give something away. But the reason why is this. If you do not have a track to run on for the holidays, which like it starts right now, I just spent the weekend around, I don't know, like a bazillion Christmas trees and Christmas lights and the Polar Express and Santa was there and everything. And so you can feel that like momentum starting to pick up a little bit. And if you don't have a track to run on and you need a track to run on, I want to give you hope. I want to encourage your heart that you can turn around your insulin resistance. You can nail the month of November. You can nail the month of December. You can actually lose weight. You can actually turn things around, navigate food better. And in January, you just like go like this and you land, like you stick a landing like a gymnast does. Just stick that landing on July 1st instead of crawling in on your belly, just trying so desperately to make head, to get ahead. Because the holidays were hard. So if you need a track to run on, I will teach you targeted supplementation. That's the trio. We start with that. And then I'll teach you ingredient food trade-outs. And I already have the challenge from November. And then we'll have another challenge in December. That one will be our 19th one. Like I have a pre-planned track. And it's simpler than you think it is. I know this is hard. I get it. I know this is hard. I know this is hard. Your heart that's connected to the food. I get it. But the plan is super simple and easy. Easy. And it's exactly what I did. And we just recreate it over and over. And we rinse and repeat. We rinse and repeat. We rinse and repeat. And if it's not simple, you're not going to stick to it. If it's not simple, you're not going to actually believe that it can work for you too. So it's either simple or it's not. Okay? So if you want that track to run on, you can always reach out to me and ask me about the trio. We'll get you started with that. I also talk about a gut reset protocol and I have a little bit of a blood orange fat burner. By the way, for those of you that have ordered the blood orange fat burner, testimony came in over the weekend. If you didn't see it in my stories, she's been taking that since July and she's lost 15 pounds. So that's another little side note. Because that is another layer to help with insulin sensitivity, but it's also a thermogenic. So like my hips have narrowed, my husband's back fat, he wouldn't call it that, love handles, they've diminished. And I've got so many testimonies. And that is the one I'm trying not to overhype. But it's kind of a little magical, I'm just telling you, because it's a clinical dose of an extract. All right. So, when we talk about insulin resistance, my goal every time I come on here is I want to make this easy. I want to make you understand that the matrix, have made this very complicated so that you think that you have to have their answer, so that you can't do anything other than their answer. And that's hogwash. It's BS. And so a lot of people are like, I don't want to be on meds. I don't like the side effects of meds. They want me to go on meds and I don't know what to do. And I'm working with people like this all the time. I just had another text last week. My husband was told he needs to go on med. We don't want to. What can we do? Well, I'll never make any claims, but I'll show you the testimonies. Here's the scroll of testimonies of people that have either avoided or gotten off of scripts, and I'm not a doctor. I don't help you do that, but because this is a very simple process that's going on in your body. It has detrimental over the cliff results if you don't deal with it. The least of the frustration, even though it feels like it's the most of the frustration, is that you're overweight. Most all people that are insulin resistant, not everybody. I do have some of you that are nice and skinny and thin, and you were shocked to find out that you were insulin resistant. But for the most part, we're all looking to lose weight. So we feel like that's the biggest issue. It's actually not the biggest issue. I mean, we don't want to be overweight, but there's internal engine stuff going on that's very detrimental. If you knew that you were this close to cracking the block on your engine, you would understand what I'm talking about, right? Like nobody wants to crack the block on their engine. That's not a good scenario. So here are some very simple analogies as to how to explain insulin resistance. Okay, are you ready for simplicity? I do, Lisa, I do. Yep, I do. And in fact, if you are looking for information on the trio, I put this up here so you can see where I've underlined the IG portal. It's the one place that I have figured out, and I'm getting ready to put this on a website more easily, readily available. But at the top of my Instagram, there's a pink highlight bubble. Okay, there's a pink highlight bubble. And in that pink highlight bubble, it says Trio on it. It's 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Testimony after testimony after testimony. And you could spend about maybe 7 to 10 minutes just going through those and reading those and get your hopes up. And as a new customer, and I've actually never ran anything for new customers like this before. I always do send out a sample. But as a new customer right now, I am going to be giving away a gift to every new customer. So don't hesitate if you've never ordered from me before and you want to actually just pause and ask me questions. You don't have to order just because you ask me questions. Like I'm available for questions. It's what I do. But anyway, I just want you to know that. So don't delay, don't sabotage yourself if you're wanting to know information. So IG has my pink highlight bubble for you. But I wanted to make this super easy because I feel like there's so much noise and then we feel like it's way too much. And then guess what we do? We sabotage. We sabotage going forward. My brain just can't take it. This person is saying to do this and this person is saying to do that. And this person, it's so noisy. And I don't even understand, like, why does it matter? Why does one person give this piece of advice as to how to eat and one person gives this advice and blah, 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 or whatever? Because we are in the information age and videos are freaking everywhere, right? Okay. So insulin resistance is when your body stops listening to insulin. It just stops listening. It's like la, 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 la. But your insulin is a helper that tells your cells to use sugar for energy. So imagine insulin is like a key that opens a door of your cells. And when your body becomes insulin resistant, the key doesn't work as well and the door stays locked. We talk about that a lot. This means that the sugar stays in your blood, which can lead to health problems over time. Hold on. So think of insulin as a delivery truck. And I've talked about this a little bit where your insulin is going to gobble up the sugar and take it into your cell. So think of your insulin as a delivery truck that transports glucose to your cells, which are they're like little warehouses that store energy. Okay, so you have all these little warehouses, all these little storage units all over your body. And the insulin is trying to transport, it takes the delivery truck, grabs the sugar, the glucose, and tries to get it into the cell, into the warehouse. Good morning, Phyllis from Arkansas. Good to see you. Good to see you. When insulin is working properly, it delivers the sugar to the warehouse. It unloads it, and the warehouse stores it for later use. This is what's normal for your body. If your body becomes insulin resistant, it's like the warehouse doors are jammed, and the delivery truck cannot drop off the sugar. Okay, this leaves a traffic jam of delivery trucks, sugar, on the streets, which are your bloodstream. And too many trucks on the street cause chaos, which can damage roads and cause accidents, just like high blood sugar can damage your body over time. I thought that was a really good analogy. Okay, So you got a delivery truck. It's trying desperately to get the sugar into the warehouse so that it can store it for later use. And it can't do it because the door is jammed. And so now you have a backup of delivery trucks all over your body, and it's causing issues. It's wreaking havoc. It's causing inflammation. They're causing a traffic jam. And over time, your blood sugar finally goes up. Okay. That's a really good analogy. Here's another one for you. Imagine that your cells are rooms in your house. So maybe this one makes more sense for you. Imagine your cells are rooms in your house, and insulin is a helper who has to unlock those rooms so that sugar can come in and be used for energy. You can tell me which one you like best when I'm done. When everything is working right, the helper, insulin, uses the key, opens the door, and sugar goes in to do its job. But if you're insulin resistant, the key starts to wear out, and the door wears out. The door won't open. The sugar stays outside in the blood or in the hallway, unable to get into the rooms, which makes everything more cluttered and stressful for your house, which is your body. Okay, you can tell me which one you like best if you want to in the chat. All right. So why is it such a problem though? Why do we care? Okay. We always talk that we want to lose the weight. We want to lose the weight. Well, when your insulin and your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. You're stuck like a hamster on a hamster wheel. So that's why this is so frustrating. And this is why counting points anymore is not working for you. This is why living in a calorie deficit only is not working for you like it used to in your 30s. And so we have to stop taking advice from people who are in their 30s when we are I'll be 60 next month, when we are in our 40s, when we are in our 50s, and we are finding out just now for the first time or suspecting now for the first time that we are insulin resistant. Because if you're insulin resistant, you're doing this. Why isn't anything working for me? Call. I used to be able to do this. I used to be able to go like just whatever. I used to be able to walk and melt off fat. I used to be able to, just like cut my carbs in half and I dropped the weight. I used to be able to fill in the blank, count the points beyond that $1,200 a month program of processed food. Really bad idea, by the way, FYI. And now you're frustrated or you've been put on meds, scripts, and you're like, okay, these side effects really suck. Like I remember when my mom was on med. She had dementia. She had type 2. We didn't know what meds she was on until we realized she had dementia and we had to become her advocate. We didn't know. So we find out the hard way because now she's having accidents in restaurant bathrooms. And I'm like, what's going on? So I take her to the doctor and I'm like, yeah, when we go out places, she has a lot of anxiety. So maybe that's just what it is. Because, when you have dementia, you can't assess and you're afraid because now you don't have those buffers in your brain. And she has anxiety. Maybe that's why she's having diarrhea issues, bathroom issues. And we're cleaning her up in, a Culver's bathroom or a Costco bathroom. Like this and that's really hard on her. And she has to go to bed for the day because it's too much. It's like her brain it just shorts out. And the doctor very, very, matter of fact says, oh, let me see here. Oh yeah, no, that's the Met. That's the Met. And of course he said the full name. Oh, we'll just switch, blah, blah. And I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean that's just the Met? Like that's a side effect? I had no idea because I avoided meds by doing targeted supplementation and trading out my food. I was the only one that did. So I never ended up on meds to find out what the side effects were. So I know that a lot of you don't want the side effects, but what happens over time? Why did my dad die at 63? Why did he go from being diagnosed with type 2 at 35 to becoming insulin dependent with injections to having emergency angiograms? He was popping nitro pills like they were candy, heart surgeries, quadruple bypass, and then eventually kidney failure, dialysis, puking, dead at 63. Why did his life do this so fast? 35 to 63, that's not very long, right? Because high blood sugar is a problem. So we go back to that analogy of your insulin is a delivery truck, and it's trying to pick up the glucose and shuttle it into the warehouses, into the storage units. And the storage units doors are jammed and it can't get it in there. That means that all that sugar now is going to rise in your blood. So long before it ever shows up in your bloodstream, you were insulin resistant. Your delivery truck was not able to deliver the glucose. But nobody told you that. Nobody took a fasting insulin test. Nobody took a test to tell you what was happening with the delivery trucks. Nobody told you. So the sugar starts rising, but why do you care? Well, this is why you care. High blood sugar is a problem because, number one, it will damage your blood vessels. High blood sugar over time acts like tiny little shards of glass in your bloodstream, and it is scratching up the walls of your blood vessels. This can lead to damage, making it easier for cholesterol to build up and causing problems like heart disease. Now, has anybody ever told you that heart disease is caused by high blood sugar? Or have they only told you that it's caused by butter or red meat? Is that what they told you? Gosh, I wonder who told us that. Was that like the cereal companies? Maybe that was Cheerios. Maybe it was General Mills. I know General Mills. I'm in Minneapolis, home of General Mills. Maybe it was General Mills that told us that Cheerios was heart healthy. But when high blood sugar over time acts like little tiny shards of glass in your bloodstream, it's actually scratching up the walls of your blood vessels. And this can lead to damage, making it easier for cholesterol to build up and causing problems like heart disease. So again, once again, here we are. Day 4,263. Just kidding. It's not that many. Where we find out that the damage to the blood vessels, once again, they're not mentioning butter or meat. What's up with that? Number two, it's a strain on your organs. So my dad was on dialysis, and he'd go to dialysis on Monday. He'd come home and he'd puke. And then on Tuesday, he'd feel good enough to actually live his life. And then Wednesday, he'd go have another dialysis session, and then he would come home and he would puke. And that literally was how he ended up dying. He was Wednesday night throwing up. Thursday, he felt good. I went shopping. I'll never forget. My dad was the son of an Italian immigrant, so he loved a deal, loved a good wholesale deal. He instilled that in me. And he was a business owner. It's probably why doing online business like this, a lot of people that want to do online business, with me like this, they maybe don't have a business background of a dad like me. But I was like, oh man, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to be in corporate America. I hated it. It just wasn't my deal. I wanted very much to own a business of my own that I could build and pass on to my kids, right? So as a business owner, he always taught me how to buy wholesale and all of these things. And I'll never forget the day before he died, I went to Kohl's and I bought this darling little polka dot jumper. So this is back in 1995. And so it was a one piece. And I was really excited because I found a deal. I got a sale. And I came home and he was sitting at the kitchen table with his Lazy Susan there with all of his meds. I talk about this a lot, you guys, don't I? His Lazy Susan, all of his meds laid out or lined up or whatever. And he's sitting at the kitchen table, getting ready for the day, whatever he's doing. I've already gone to Kohl's, got my jumper, came home. And I said, I tried it on and I said, Dad, look at this jumper that I got. He's like, oh, that's really cute. And he goes, I said, I got a deal. I got a sale. And he goes, you did? He goes, well, did you buy two? And I go, no. He goes, well, you should have because it was on sale. So he was living his normal life. And the very next morning, he went for his morning dialysis session, had the session, went to the cafeteria in the hospital. He wasn't admitted into the hospital. He just went there for his session. He signed a check for his lunch and he died sitting right there in the cafeteria, had a heart attack. And it begs the question very strongly, Why doesn't anybody tell us this information? Why is this not talked about? Shards of glass in your bloodstream. That's what high blood sugar is. Strain on your organs. Your kidneys, which filter out waste, have to work extra hard when your blood sugar is high. Over time, this can lead to kidney damage. Checklist, check. My dad. High blood sugar can also damage nerves and affect organs like your eyes. My grandpa Fergali, he was blind and in a wheelchair. He died when I was 9 on my birthday. Blind, crying, in a wheelchair. This is my memory of my grandpa, my Italian grandpa, because it affects your eyes, causing vision problems. It affects that damages the nerves in your organs. Like high blood sugar is no freaking joke, people. But we treat it like it's so common. I mean, it just absolutely boggles the mind, in my opinion. Like it boggles my mind. So why should you care? Well, keeping your blood sugar levels normal helps your body work smoothly. It keeps your energy steady. It reduces the risk of developing serious health issues later. When blood sugar is high over a long period of time, it can lead to conditions like type 2 diabetes, which affects nearly every part of your body. Taking care of your blood sugar now means that you'll be healthier, feel better, and avoid complications down the road. You have to deal with your sugars. You have to deal with the delivery trucks, the insulin, before your sugars get high and stay high. This is real stuff. Like I said, my grandpa was blind. My dad he had so many sores on his legs because your body can't heal anymore. The circulation is really bad. And, I don't know how close he was to losing maybe a toe or something, but I just remember my mom making that comment at one point that he was probably very close to losing something because you lose your circulation. So you literally can lose limbs. And that's how that goes. And so what can we do about all of that? Like literally, what can we do all about that? Well, basically, there is a conversation to be had about, consistency and maintaining a healthy weight and sleeping well and dealing with your stress. That's a very simple conversation that's super kind of vague. That doesn't really give you like specific answers to help you with anything. But that is the kind of overarching conversation that we have all the time, even right here. Your grandfather on your dad's side died on your 10th birthday. Christy, oh my gosh. And you know what's really crazy? Is that so I'm at the funeral, like you remember this stuff, right? And there's like this little, the little pamphlet that you get at the funeral. And I'm at his funeral and I'm looking at the little pamphlet and I see died January 27th. And I'm like, and of course there was no cremation. Nobody's cremating. So probably the funeral's on the 29th or the 30th. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he died on my birthday. I mean, I guess in the moment I was like, well, I guess I'm sort of glad they didn't tell me, but it's like, oh, okay, grandpa, I mean, I just have that strong memory. You know how that is. Yes, Kristen, all that information has been wrong. Ugh, it's so annoying. And annoying is a really nice word for like criminal. It's not annoying. It's criminal behavior that they do not tell us this stuff. Like, this is stupid. This is the most basic of information that we are not told. And instead they have allowed us to be massively taken over by industry that makes profit off of us being sick. It's too much. So, all right. So you're like, okay, so fine. Now, what do I do about this? What do I do? I'm brand new. I've never seen your content before. What do? I hear this person saying this and this person saying that. And how do I do this? Well, I'm not going to say that there's only one way to deal with things, but I'm going to tell you what my way was. And then I'm going to just tell you that we can rinse and repeat. And that's what we've been doing. So for me, the first thing that I did was I started with targeted supplementation, and I did it because I did not think that I could trade out my foods. Like, I honestly thought I was never going to stop eating the way that I had been eating. And that's why, like in TikTok, I do my before and after up there because it's just on my website for the rest of you. That's my 10-year-old self, 10 years ago, a little over 10. I wasn't going to trade out my food. Why would I do that? No, that doesn't sound like fun. I don't want to do that. That's kind of where I was in my head. So I did this. I took supplements and I went, okay. Because I wasn't a granola person. I wasn't an eat healthy person. I wasn't a pay attention person. I was the least likely to pay attention person. And I just lived the effects of eating like trash and then feeling like trash and then eating like trash and then feeling like trash. But there was all of these emotional connections to food. So I started with supplementation and I talk about it all the time. I don't even know. I've been out of town, so I don't think I have everything at my disposal. Do I? The trio, 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And I have to open up this one. I had no idea. I couldn't have told you at all why these would even work. I couldn't have told you anything. And now my story really is that just by doing something so simple, lifting up the hood of my engine and getting my internals to work, my internal engine to work, I'm changing out the oil in my liver and I'm helping my sugars and my insulin to come down, which makes it so that I can actually lose weight. And I'm dealing with my visceral fat around my organs and I'm helping my metabolism. Like when your body is toxic and it's tired and it's done, it's just done with the standard American diet. It's done with the seed oils. It's done with constantly spiking your sugars and calling on insulin, and your cell has closed the door. The door is now jammed. It's locked. And it's not listening to your insulin anymore. Thank God, because I ended up avoiding type 2. So I always say, this is your track to run on. Let's start you with targeted supplementation that can change the way your body's functioning. Then let me help you trade out your ingredients, help you to learn a new recipe. So I did it. I put together almost 19 months ago, a Facebook group. It's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. So again, if you're brand new to me, this is literally what I do. And this either resonates with people or it doesn't. Targeted supplementation Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Every month we do a challenge, a 5-day challenge. It's free. And so that you can go through this challenge and you can understand what's happening and trade out your ingredients and we'll do a pantry and a fridge reveal and then I'll talk to you about supplementation and teach you a recipe. And then you can take down that month. And what month are we in right now? November, my cat. November. And November can feel like a little bit of a daunting month because we can feel like, all right, I'm just going to throw the towel in. I tried to say no at Thanksgiving, whatever we do in our head that we do. But we can take down November. And then in December, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have another challenge. And you can take down December. And you do this one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time, 1 month at a time, and you add your months together. And then like Terry, she's 8 months in, taking the trio, changing out her food. Number 1, number 2, she traded out her foods. She's lost 40 pounds in the last 8 months. And she said, basically, thank you. Thank you for helping me with my connections to food. Thank you for helping me with changing the way that I view things. I was talking to somebody over this weekend, and we were talking about, it was not about this conversation, but it was the exact same conversation, just about a different topic, because the process is the same. Again, I'm going to tell you over and over and over again. It's a simple process. I understand that this is hard. So sometimes what we're doing is we are trying to implement over here something that actually is going to take quite a few steps, or we think it's going to take quite a few steps, but we haven't dealt with things over here. So you cannot heal a body in shame. So if you're constantly being unkind to yourself, if you're constantly living in shame in your head and you're putting yourself down, telling yourself that you're a loser, telling yourself that you're just undisciplined, you don't know how to live an intentional life, you've never traded out an ingredient in your life. I mean, come on, after all, you're Italian. I mean, ask me how I know, right? So you're telling yourself all this stuff and you're kind of like beating the air, so to speak. You're constantly got this internal fight going on. Bam, 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 bam. And then you're trying to implement something over here that has 60 steps to it, or that has a lot of noise around it, or that, you know what, you never really did understand why it was going to work for you anyway. So whatever. So you just quit over and over and over again because you're so busy over here. So we have to take a more holistic approach to what's going on. Helping yourself to stop sabotaging, helping yourself to be kind to yourself, helping yourself to get rid of the shame so that you can simmer down that noise, so that you can implement how many steps? 2 steps. Targeted supplementation, trade out your food ingredients. Are there other layers? Are there other pieces to the puzzle? Sure, because we're complicated people. That's just the way that is. But it's an easy track to run on. It's so easy, but just think about where you want to be in January. So again, if you're brand new to me and you're a brand new customer, I'm sending out gifts for brand new customers, but we can actually, and referrals. I should mention that. I haven't mentioned that for a little bit. If you refer to me a customer that orders, I have a gift for you. Because I want to make sure there are so many of you that have so many amazing testimonies. And I didn't have something in place. And I thought I have to reward those of you that are spreading the word that there's a simple thought process out there, that there is a, how do I say this? Like it's now become a community of women. Like the group is like 5,000 women almost. And, but there's this opportunity to be encouraged and resourced. And again, like I'm not a doctor. I just am an Italian girl who figured things out. Well, I can share that with you guys. It's either simple or it's not, right? So anyway, who has questions today? Does anybody have any questions? I never asked that. I would love to know. Or if anybody has a testimony. And remember, so I know that I'm giving you a lot of like whatever, but I want November and December to be so different for you. The year that I realized that my November, December could be different, man, like inside I rejoiced. I was like, oh, I actually have like tools in my toolbox. Like I had not seen forward. I had not seen, oh, this is actually going to get better from year to year. That never dawned on me. Good morning, Linda. You're fine. You're fine. Would the trio work if you just did the trio? Do you mean, Kathy, if you did not like change out your food at all? Is that what you're asking? That is where I started. And I will tell you, let me say it this way. And I assume you have weight to lose. What it did for me when I had not traded out any of my foods yet. Yes. Okay. I had not traded out any of my foods yet. And I'll tell you what it did for me, and I'll tell you what it's done for some other people. All of a sudden, my food noise went away. And I could actually think straight. And that was a really big piece of my puzzle, because when you think about food all the time, right? Like that's just a part of your life. It's noisy in your head, right? My appetite came under control. Okay. So those are 2 really big benefits for me. But then I would say I stopped gaining weight. I was in weight gain mode. I was doing this. And that's why my mother would not leave me alone. I was doing this. So that's why when I put that picture up there, right there, it's on TikTok. When I put that picture up there, that was me going, so are we going to do something or not? Like, what are we going to do about this? And that's when I was about a 2X, and I needed to deal with that. Now, for me, not weight, but glucose issues. Oh, well then, yes, Kathy, that's an easy answer. How high is your glucose? I'd love to know that. What other people have found is that because sometimes we're not ready to trade out our foods right away, we definitely, yeah, man, I haven't, yeah, because I'll wait for that. I definitely have quite a few testimonies now of people who are like, I didn't trade out my foods right away. And I started seeing results even though, because you're still bringing down your glucose, you're still bringing down your insulin. You're still like, if you understood that your liver is your fat metabolizing organ, and that when you take care of your liver, you can actually begin to lose fat. When you bring down your insulin and your sugars, you can actually finally lose weight. Like this is just a very normal conversation, and then the little tiny one, this is actually helping with metabolism. So like taking your vehicle in for maintenance, when you take it in for maintenance, it's going to run more efficiently and get you better results. That's the exact same thing. Not high, but you want to prevent it from going high. So this is literally the very core of that conversation, Kathy. So my answer to you is yes. Do you eventually have to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with? In my opinion, yeah. I mean, it took me a little time. I can help people compress time now. So I teach grain-free, sugar-free, legume-free, and I use a lot of Maria Emmerich information because she's such a genius in trading out her ingredients. So when you get into the group, you're able to, like, we do a recipe every month. This month we did the Chex Mix. We did the sweet Muddy Buddies, and they were keto, and then we did the savory, more like just Chex Mix. But we have keto lasagna and all these things. Okay. It's not a chore and a burden to trade out food that you love for food that you still love, but it's just made with different ingredients that won't trash your body. If all you're trying to do is get down your sugars because you're trying to avoid something, this is the perfect conversation for you. It's not just a sort of good idea. It is the idea, because you're running on autopilot. Your body is just running on autopilot by itself. And it's so fearfully and wonderfully made, and it's doing the best it can every day. It knows exactly how to function. When God created your body, it was running like a Porsche. It runs like a freaking Porsche. Your body knows exactly how to secrete insulin to take care of the sugar in your blood so that it can keep it at bay, so that it can keep everything running, so that your liver can do what your liver does. And your liver actually governs your hormones, which insulin is a hormone and cortisol is a hormone. And it knows how to like balance the glucose in your blood. And it's like working like this, like clockwork. But when you put like old oil into your car, you put things that are really sludging up the pipe, so to speak. And you can't put eggs or sugar into your gas tank, right? Like that's what we've been doing to our vehicle. And so when you begin to turn it around, instead of taking an injection, now it's just me, instead of taking an injection that's knocking on the door of your pancreas, hello, could you release a little more insulin, please? You haven't done enough yet. You need to work a little harder. And don't you be thinking about getting tired now. Don't you be getting tired, little pancreas. But I'm just going to keep on knocking on your door and expecting you to just hold up under the pressure. Instead, let's talk about a completely different conversation. Let's talk about a cellular conversation, giving your body the raw materials that it needs to function, helping your body so that it can actually function. Let's work on an organ. Let's work on your liver. Let's work on the hormone insulin and the blood glucose. And by the way, the little teeny tiny side benefit is it calms the food noise. This little one, you take it 3 times a day. That food noise, which can get really strong. And then if anybody has fatty liver, you guys, come on. It's not just fatty liver. It's fatty liver, pancreas, intestines, stomach. Like it's fatty everywhere, right? And so let's deal with those things. So the answer is yes, Kathy. But I will also say this, don't take my word for it. Please don't take my word for it. Please don't. I'm the one who avoided type 2. It's me. I'm the one in my family, including my Swedish mother, 100% Swedish, had no type 2 in her family. She developed type 2 in her 80s. Maybe her 70s and I didn't know it, but let's just pretend it was her 80s. She died at 94. It's not a genetic conversation. I understand that. What do they say? Genetics loads the gun, food pulls the trigger. So you do have to fix your food eventually, but you can love it. You can love it. Any food with a label has been processed. You've learned so much from me, Kristen. Thank you. I appreciate you. But that's true. Dr. Ben Bickman says, no bags. What does he say? No bags, no barcodes. There was another B in there. I'm doing so many balloons on Instagram today. You guys have no idea. So funny because every time I do a V, balloons go up. No bars, no bags, no barcodes. That's what that is. No bars, no bags, no barcodes, I think is what he says. And it's true because anytime you're welcome, Kathy. And again, don't sabotage yourself. Did you know that when you get the unction or the urge to take action, and then you tell yourself something either unkind or you tell yourself, whatever, it's probably not going to work anyway. You've tried other stuff before anyway. You're off. No boxes, no bags, no boxes, no barcodes. Is that what that is? Thank you. I appreciate that. It's true because anything that's processed, you just have to stay away from it. I don't care if it says keto on it. It's probably trash. Just stay away. But when you stop yourself from taking action, I have had people say, I've been watching you for a year and I just ordered the trio. I've been watching you for a year. Can you imagine? Right? Like we sabotage that way. We just do. So anyway, and what the thing that I want to be able to send people, I thought I had one by me, but I don't have it right here. It's in my cupboard. I just drove back into town like in the middle of the night. So I don't know where everything is right now. I might go drink some coffee. Actually, I'm not that tired, so I shouldn't complain because I'm not that tired. But what I do want to be able to send people who are new customers, I want to be able to send you samples, you guys, of the blood orange. So the blood orange pixie sticks that people are now starting to grab, that they launched this in August. And I was very concerned about it because it tastes like candy. You put a pixie stick on your tongue, tastes like orange candy. And I thought, this is not right. This is concerning. I mean, that was like what my brain said. And so I sent it off to a friend of mine who checks her blood sugars. Thank you for that. And she said, no, this did not mess with my blood sugars. I would totally take this product. And what I found out through researching is that, and we talked about this last week a little bit more, it actually helps with insulin sensitivity. But way, way, way more than that, it's helping with the visceral fat. And it literally says on the packaging, it narrows your hips and it narrows your waist. Oops. I'm going to have to jump on a meeting. It narrows your hips and it narrows your waist. And I'm just telling you, I have so many testimonies now that I'm feeling more stable about not overhyping it. Because I never, ever want you to think that I'm going to come and go, jazz hands, magic. That's not. I want you to understand why your body is insulin resistant, what you can do about it. If you only ever want to do it with food, you can do that. Some people need a little extra help. Some people are taking berberine and inositol and it's just not enough for them. And they actually needed a little bit more of an ingredient deficiency, like a mineral deficiency addressed in their body. They needed something different to actually get their body moving. You know, like I'm on berberine, I'm on inositol, and I cannot lose 1 pound. Oh, I took the trio. My morning sugars came down 30 points and I lost 14 pounds in 2.5 months. Okay, thank you. That works for me. I want you to understand why things are working because I know then that you're going to stick with it longer. I know that you're going to give your body a bigger chance. You're not going to expect, if I come to you and I say, jazz hands, magic powder, then you might think that everything is a quick fix and then you will not hold yourself accountable to where you want to be 6 months from now, where you want to be. So for anybody who is new to my universe, if you want to just, like Angela saying she wants to try the blood orange, anybody who wants to just go buy it, you can go buy it. No problem. You can do that. But I want, like, if you're going to try the trio, I'm going to send you some blood orange. Like I want you to try I want you to be able to taste it and see what I'm talking about. Okay. And this is what people are finding. The one box, 30 days. That's what they're finding. One box, 30 days. And within 30 days, that's when they're finding the biggest results starting to change. And I'll tell you, please measure yourself, because you need to know the inches. You need to know if your waist is changing or if your hips are changing. I have to move something on TikTok. Measure yourself. Do it for yourself, okay? And everything has a 6-month guarantee. So don't worry about like if something doesn't, whatever, you don't like it, or just know that, okay? 6-month guarantee. But it is a thermogenic. So what it's doing is, technically, we wouldn't call it a fat burner. Like scientifically, it's not burning your fat, but it is dealing with your visceral fat. And there is an actual definition that you can see changing. When you can see like for me, it's been my hips on my sides here for me. I don't know why I'm hippie. I don't know. I'm more of a pear, right? Like, your hips are wider than your shoulders. So I'm super grateful that my pear is coming into like context, right? But my husband, it was his love handles right back here. And other people, it's really their waist, and they're able to maybe tuck back in a shirt again, etc. But then the one that came in over the weekend when I was in French Lick she said, I started it. She said July, but I think it was launched in August. So, but she said July. And she said just by taking that for herself, she's lost 15 pounds. So that was her story. And I'm starting to collect those testimonies. But I want to be able to, like, if you want to be a Trio customer, if you need to know about the gut reset protocol, where I talk about a gut primer and a probiotic all the time, like, let's get your body up and running and making it completely in a different environment for you to navigate the holidays, to go into January. This is going to be a constant conversation, because you don't have to hate your body, hate yourself, beat up on yourself. Wake up every morning, remember what you did yesterday that you think were the bad choices, and then be like, oh, you just suck. Maybe you need to put the scale away. Put it away. Don't bring it out until like March. Like, let's go through a season. Let's give your body a chance to like shrink a little bit, to actually get under control, so that you can stop stepping on a scale and and just allowing that number to create a cycle of beating yourself up. Oh my gosh, stop the insanity. Who told you? Who told you that you should gauge your life about a number on a scale, and then you should beat yourself up because of the number? Who told you that? And of course, I preached to myself at the same time, because I put my scale away 6 years ago. I think it was 6 years. Because I had to. I had to not care anymore. I had to choose to not care about the number, but I wanted to see my sizes change. So what did I do? I started measuring, and I went from a 2X down to a large by making my engine run differently. And then I've added in things. I've added in the gut primer, because a primer is completely different than a greens, and it really helps your body to produce. If your gut is messed up, you might be dealing with anxiety and depression. You're not producing the GLP-1 that your gut produces. You're leaching out nutrients because you have leaky gut. So what if we could shore up these pieces? That's all I'm saying. Gut reset is helping your obesity and type 2 diabetes. You're insulin dependent for 30 years. And now you're using a fraction of what you used to. So to come out, you're trying to come off it completely. Are you saying that you're using the primer and a probiotic? And if you are, which probiotic? I would love to know that. That is amazing. So the gut reset is helping with your obesity and your type 2 diabetes. You're been insulin dependent for 30 years. It's a long time, right? But now you're using a fraction of the insulin. If you will write, if you're doing that because of the primer, if that's actually what's helping you, let me know. Because if it's because of the gut reset protocol that I share, then send me a written testimony of that, and I'll put your name in a hat for a drawing, because I want to collect my testimonies. And you may be doing it with something else, and that's fine too. But I just always want to clarify, because you guys, I come on here every day at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and you give me the best testimonies ever. I'm like last week, I don't remember what day it was. I think it was Thursday. It was Testimony Central. Which supplements did I share about that within a month was giving you great results? The primer. Thank you. No. So thank you for asking, though, because I don't want to be confusing. I know that a confused mind does nothing. So the gut primer this is the 6 blend that really helps to shore up nutritional deficiencies and to help you with, well, it's literally priming your gut, priming your GI system every single day. And it will help with your liver health and your oral health and your metabolism and your constipation and your bloating and all of those issues. That with a probiotic is what changes. This is changing the game for people in how they're living their life. The one that you're talking about, because everybody's gut is messed up, is the blood orange. So that is it's an orange pixie stick, and you put it on your tongue and it tastes like orange candy. It's not, but I mean, it does. I'm not exaggerating. And it's a thermogenic. So basically what it's doing is it is actually, let's see if I can, hold on. I'll give you, and within 30 days, this is what's happening for people. I had one person give me a testimony that she lost an inch off of her waist and her hips. I had somebody else I want to make sure that I've got it right. Oh, come on. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to ever give bad testimonies. Like I want my numbers to be accurate. But hold on, let me just tell you. So this extract has been shown to support fat metabolism. That's why it's helping with the visceral fat, particularly targeting visceral fat, the type that accumulates around your waist and your hips. And this is the claim on the site. This is the claim. So I'm not making this up. And I know they don't make claims lightly, because they have a very, 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 they have literally the largest brand in the world. So they don't mess with claims. Anyway, I'm just saying. It accumulates around your waist and your hips. The bioactive compounds promote lipid breakdown and inhibit. So inhibit, keep from Claudette. Good morning. Good to see you. They inhibit fat accumulation. So it's breaking it down and then stopping the more, breaking it down and stopping the more. This action may lead to a reduction in body circumference, particularly around the hips and the waist, making it effective for slimming down these stubborn areas. While it isn't directly a fat burner, it supports metabolic pathways that enhance fat utilization and overall body composition improvement. So those little sticks, there's a 30-day supply, and people are finding that, I feel like I can confidently say now that people are finding that the first layer of results within a month. So within a month. And they did studies that go for an entire year or more. They didn't just do studies for a couple of months. These studies were very lengthy and lingering, which is very helpful, because if we're working on visceral fat, again, we all like to talk about losing fat that we can squeeze. Every single person wants to be in a different size, most people. And we want to get rid of that fat, but it's the dangerous fat underneath. So I'll talk to you about what you want, which is fat loss and a different size. But then I know that it's helping you with what you need, which is the visceral fat, which is the dangerous fat. Liver, pancreas, stomach, intestines. We have to deal with the visceral fat. We just didn't even understand what was happening when they changed our food back in the 70s and 80s. 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like that was, they sold us a bag of goods, man. They just let everybody come in and lobby. Okay, that's what you haven't gotten yet. Yeah, you're welcome. It really is. I keep saying it, and I know, and I'm a broken record, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm trying not to overhype it. I really am. But I'll tell you, last Tuesday, my girlfriend said, "What the heck? Why did I put on the wrong pants?" That's what she said to me. We're walking out the door of our business meeting, and she goes, "I think I put on my wrong pants." No, she said, when I got ready for tonight, I thought I put on the wrong pair of pants because they were loose on her. I then went to Nordstrom Rack on Thursday, right before we left for out of town, and I grabbed a pair of jeans because the pair of jeans that I went into Nordstrom Rack with, they were just because I'm losing it right here in the narrowness of my hips. So those jeans weren't fitting me the same anymore. So I went and got a new pair of jeans. And anyway, so you've never felt like I've overstated or hyped anything. Thank you. Thank you. I really do try. I want you guys to get the help you need. And listen, I will, if maybe you've been one of my customers who have been like you've texted me something and I'm like, here's their phone number. You know, like if you have an issue with it or if you don't like something, like let's actually get your life up and running. Come on. I am the benefit. Me, Kirsten Liebelt, I'm the benefit to you. Why? Because I'm not a kid at GNC that doesn't know your story. That's why I'm the benefit. I want people to understand that. So if you've never worked with me before, like every day, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, unless I'm traveling, I'm right here and we're talking about insulin resistance. There is a group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can get into the group and be tagged in a free PDF pantry recipe thing. And then once a month, we'll do a 5-day challenge. I'll give you all of the free content that I can give you to support you and encourage you and helping you in any way that I possibly can. And it just so happens that the way that I did my journey that now is being duplicated, rinsed, and repeated by you guys is the targeted supplementation. It's the trio. It's now the gut reset protocol. Like this has helped me so much. I keep this important conversation real and relatable. You're amazing. You're amazing. Thank you. The gut reset protocol, you guys, like now I travel. I'm not concerned about constipation. I'm not like my bloating. I wish I need another device. I need another device. My daughter had, she's 30. I think she's going to be 32. She has 3 babies and she did a before and after picture. And I think it's in the highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram page. Under the gut reset or the gut primer. I don't remember. I named it something, gut primer, gut reset. And it's her before and after pictures in there. She ate really poorly. This is a couple of weekends ago. Her belly got super distended and, like bloated. And she was like, oh, what did I do? And she's like, well, I saw another influencer like taking a gut primer at night. And I thought, and this one is literally for the morning. You're supposed to take this in the morning. You set your gut for the day. It's a GI primer. She's like, well, I saw somebody take like their greens product or whatever was helping them at night. And she goes, I'm going to do that. So she took a picture in the mirror of her distended belly. And then she took the primer. She went to bed. She woke up and she was like, she goes, you can't really see it in the picture. I was still a tiny bit bloated, but the after picture that she took was like, wow. And so those are real live happenings in my life around me, people giving me the testimonies that they're giving me, which is amazing. Terry, did you really? Oh my God, it's so exciting. Terry says that she lost an inch in multiple areas within 30 days. I'm sold. Yes. I can't believe it, you guys. I really can't because, again, visceral fat is hard to get rid of. And so, after you have babies, like, I don't know, they call it a fupa, they call it whatever, and you've got, whatever hanging areas that you're not excited about. And you're like, how will I ever lose this? Well, it's really not necessarily about, because sometimes that's the subcutaneous fats, whatever. That's just the fat that you can squeeze. That's really frustrating. But if you deal with the fat that's underneath that fat, it makes that fat go down. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. And so I've always just been hippie, but to go back, I remember when I lost a bunch of weight, when my dad died and I was 30, I had lost a bunch of weight after my third baby. Like, I just did a really good job. I waitressed up until 2 days before he was born. I was super active. I remember the outfit that I wore at his funeral. I was very confident. It felt good. My hips were narrow and then never to be seen again. Narrow hips, like, come on, really? Is this the spread that they're talking about? And then now for that to be my area, for me, my story, that my hips right here are going down. I'm like, oh my God, this is so fun. This is great. So this isn't something that I'm going to do just for a little bit. I'm like, we're riding it all the way to the station, because if I know that they've done tests for a year, then I'm in, because I want to see where this can take me. But anyway, so she's lost an inch in multiple areas within 30 days. And you are sold, Terry. That's wonderful. So if anybody wants to know more about the blood orange, they're the pixie sticks. If you become a brand new customer, I'm just going to start sending you samples anyway, because I want to gift you something so that you can actually like test different things. And you can know what that's like. And I'm looking for testimonies. I'm looking for referrals of new customers. I'm looking for customers, and I want to bonus everybody for all of that, because you guys collectively, we can do January 2025 completely different than everybody else. By the time you hit January 1, you can already have been resourced with your food. You can already have navigated a holiday social outing completely different. You can already have tried a keto dessert or something for Thanksgiving and been proud of yourself. You can already have done certain things in your life and feel really good about what you're accomplishing even right now. Last year I had somebody, all they did was take the trio. I don't know what she did with her food because I don't remember, but between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year, she lost 25 pounds just starting with the trio. Just starting with that. And this is 3 times a day. This is twice a day. This is twice a day. Super simple, but it's getting your engine going. And when you do order, I'm going to say this last thing here. When you do order, make sure that you go to the top of the page where there's a little person icon, register with your name, because when you register with your name, you're going to get the best shipping. Okay. You're going to get the best shipping options. And I want you to do that. You're not new, but you'd like to try the blood orange to add it to your other products. Hold on. Okay, that's Sue, right? Sue Herbst. Is that right? Am I right, Sue? I'm trying to remember people's handles. I think I'm right, though. You let me know, Sue, and I'll write your name down. And then the last thing that I'll then let you know about is Wednesday, December 18th. Mark this in your calendar if you're interested. I will not be posting a Zoom link anywhere. Okay? You have to connect with me if you're interested in this. There is an expert from the company that I got to hear in June. And at that time, he was talking about the blood orange pixie sticks, and he was talking about the primer because everything was getting launched. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Because most people are selling greens products, which I'm not putting down greens. I have a greens product. I'm looking at it right now. It's 10 superfoods, and it's organic, and it's amazing. But a primer is completely different. That has prebiotics, postbiotics, digestive enzymes, alkaline spices, fermented greens, fiber from your fruits and vegetables, like extracts. Like, it's good. And they grow everything off of organic farms. Okay. So having said that, I knew that was going to shift for people. He is coming to Minneapolis on Wednesday, December 18th. And he will talk about the whole primer situation. He will talk about the blood orange situation. And I don't know what else. But if you're a geek like me, or you just really like to understand why things are working, is because you're not interested in, the jazz hands of anything. You actually want to know why it's helping your body function differently so that you can stick with it longer, so that you can feel like you're actually being an advocate for your own body. Let me know. I can put you on a VIP list so that you can get the Zoom link if you're out of town. If you are in town, if you live in the Minnesota area and you want to come to the event, it's like from 7 to 8 on a Wednesday night, just telling you, I will have a swag bag available for you. Like, I would love to meet you. I would love to hug your neck. I would love to give you a swag bag. That's what we're doing. So you just let me know what you're wanting. Like if you're wanting to be on the VIP list, or if you are wanting to be in person. And I'd be so excited. I had somebody do that with me recently. We did an in-person event here just a weekend ago. And the primer has made a huge difference for you. Yes, yes, yes. Yep, Sue Herbst. I knew that. Okay, I'm writing that down, Sue. And I'm doing my event. This is last weekend. And this lady walks in and she's standing by the table where I'm like sharing about the gut primer, the gut reset protocol, etc. And I'm like, can I help you? Can I answer you any questions? And she goes, yeah. And I answer her questions about the gut primer and the protocol. And I said, well, who's your person? Like, because it was a handful of us as business owners coming together. And she goes, well, I don't know. I don't think I have a person. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, who invited you to the event? And she said, I watch you on Facebook. And so she showed up. What a gift to me to be able to meet you and to just I just was like exciting, right? Because now I get to put a face to your actual presence. So nice. VIP list, unless you don't recommend, because I'm just getting started again after going through some things physically. I feel like it's probably not going to be super high level confusing. I think it's going to be very, very just basic, tangible. So I feel like, good information is never a disadvantage. Good information and knowledge is never a disadvantage. It won't be high level and confusing. So I can put you on the list and you can decide for yourself, but I don't feel like it would only probably benefit you. But I'm going to write you down. And then Sue, send. Okay. I'll do that. Yeah. You're welcome. Yep. Because again, I understand. I think I understand exactly what you're asking. So, all right. So anyway, all right. You guys have such an amazing day. Tonight is the last installment of the Self-Sabotage No More book in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Next Monday night, we will have Jenny Potter in the house. Put that on your calendar. November 25th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Jenny Potter, the author, will be in there. December 18th is a Wednesday night. If you want to partake in getting more information through Zoom or in person, I'll keep mentioning that because I want you guys to get as much information as you can. Again, it's just like, sometimes we hear different things from different people, but your having understanding is the number one priority. You have to have understanding because otherwise you will consider it to know you won't understand all the goodness that's happening inside of your body. And I feel like that's just imperative. So, all right. Have the super most blessed day ever on the face of the planet. And I'll be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for loving on my TikTok. You guys are amazing to me. I so appreciate you. You have no idea. And I will see you tomorrow. And be like Terry. Trio for 8 months. Changed out her foods. Lost 40 pounds. And then she added in the blood orange extract or the pixie stick. And bye-bye, Carol. And she lost an inch in multiple areas within 30 days, which is 1 box. So, all right. See you guys later. It's so much fun.